Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Coffee Tea, You and Me. This is Coach Powell. Every week, what we do is what we do, helping entrepreneurs, business leaders, um, business etiquette. Everything we talk about is really helping our business leaders right now learn how to do more, give more, show more with their teams, with a level of excellence, with a level of transparency, and a level of understanding that could not be done in any other way. Today, I'm having problems with the broadcast. I'm getting it on LinkedIn, so I apologize for those of you all who are trying to watch this on LinkedIn. Unfortunately, I know just my technology isn't working the way I want it to work, but we're going to endeavor to move forward. I will post it later on into LinkedIn so that all of you all can see this. And I don't want you to feel like it's not possible for you to watch the show or be a part of it. We're going to make it happen. Today, we're talking about something special. Before we even get into that, got to say it, guys, hey, this is the homecoming special, right? So the October is traditional HBCU homecoming month. Howard University is having their homecoming today. In fact, I'm going to go pick up my young Bison and take her on to the campus to enjoy the weekend's festivities. And I'm looking forward to seeing her. She's coming down from New York City to enjoy some time with the family and enjoy some time with her alumni friends. And we're going to have a great time here this weekend. Today, we're going to talk about something specific as we begin to explore and uncover more and more and more about what can be done with a great advisory council. I call them your hero council. We have to pay attention to these four key benefits. Now, these four key benefits we're going to talk about right now are significant to everyone in different degrees. You may have the need to do one, all four at any given time in your career or in your business development, but your advisory council are going to be the best people to help you with each aspect of these I call them the four benefits of insight. Now we all know what insight is. In fact, Emerson described insight as the intuition of the moral sentiment is an insight of the perfection of the laws of the soul. These laws, they execute themselves. They're out of time, out of space, and not subject to circumstance. Emerson suggested that insight is something that is so potent and so powerful that it's almost spiritual. You have to be wise and considerate and thoughtful in ways that only can be shared through the emotional connection with the inner self, is what insight is. And how that manifests itself is it helps you make the kinds of decisions that you have to make that are based on something you pull from your connection with the spiritual realm. The Bible goes on to mention there's only more than 50 verses about insight and how insight is in one way, shape, or form a gift from God. It's a connection to higher level thinking, higher level power, higher level of understanding, wisdom, guidance, knowledge. Most people don't get to, on a practical level, don't get to a level of insight, personally or professionally, without lots of experience. And sometimes those experiences are best relayed by other people's experience. And this is where your advisory council, your hero council comes in practical matters of developing your insight and that you have to use the insight of others. Basically, you have to have what I call a soul to soul connection. So how do you do this? How do you accomplish this? What's the benefit of it? So before we talk about the hows, let's talk about the whys. Let's talk about the benefit to you by being able to plug in to the insight of others. And there's four key areas. We got to talk about these four key areas. The first key area that we got to talk about that leaders benefit in when it comes to understanding and developing and extracting insight from others vis-a-vis their advisory council, their hero council, your friends, your mentors, your whatever it is you're coming from, is you're going to be able to identify blind spots in your trajectory, in your thinking, in your strategy planning, things that you could not have come up with by yourself. It's impossible for you to see your own blind spots. That's why they call them blind spots. But if you understand how blind spots work, there's always somebody else who has the perspective to see the blind spot that you can't see, but they have to be able to relay that information back to you in a timely enough fashion for you then to react appropriately to the events that are in the blind spots. In business and in life, this is serious things, because what happens if you can't see a blind spot and there's an incident, right? This is going to take up time. This is going to take up money. It's going to take up resources that you may or may not have available to deal with and mitigate the risk associated with this particular blind spot, right? And if you get caught up in an accident or an issue or an incident, right, these things will take you off your game, may allow your competitors to leapfrog in front of you and capture your market share that you have planned to capture, which will cause a house of cards financially for you in terms of your ability then to move forward and grow your organization, grow your team, create more opportunities for other people. Everything is going to be compromised because the blind spot that you could not see, you didn't employ a good advisory council to catch you and to see these blind spots and then communicate them to you. Well, this is a serious problem. So now, what has to happen in order for you to deploy your hero council to see the places that you can't see? Because when you're busy with your focus on a certain issue, a certain key process, a strategy, something that you're trying to do, who's checking the periphery? Who's got their eyes wide open, looking for opportunities and seeing potential situations that you can't see? Well, that is your advisory council. Those are the people that you brought on to check and make sure that whatever's going on the outside stays on the outside. Now, there's a couple more issues at stake here that are super important when it comes to dealing with your blind spot, right? In order for you to effectively really deal with the blind spot, even if the communication is been relayed to you, you have to be good at taking that communication and then changing and making decisions in real time that you have to make. And there's a couple things that keep you from doing that. One is self-deception, right? It's when someone else that you supposedly trust allow you the benefit of seeing through their eyes the blind spot that you have that they can see that you can't see. You can't allow your self-deception to get in the way of things. You can't allow your own story, your own fantastical idea, your own strategic thinking, your own focus literally can keep you from opening up your lens and being able to see things from a different perspective. That's something that you got to get in front of. So leaders have to be good at making sure they're not lying to themselves, that they're actually open and willing and able to see the truth through other people's eyes. The second thing that you have to worry about when it comes to blind spot is defensive reasoning. Once you see the truth, now you got to accept it, right? You can't argue with the facts. The facts are the facts. in the blind spot, there is a situation, there is an issue, there is a problem, there is something that is going on that you need to pay attention to. And if you're not paying attention to that thing could swallow you up whole. It could cause you tremendous problems. Now, when people are dealing with bias, there's all kinds of psychological turmoil when you're dealing with confirmation bias, right? Like I said, the self-deception, the defensive reasoning, they're all come into play when you're dealing with those things. There's also counterproductive dynamics, right? When you are weighing the trade-offs of how you make this decision versus that decision, if you don't, again, have the ability to open yourself up to the dynamics that you're experiencing, and also have an understanding of the values and resources that you have at your fingertips, then you may engage in decision-making and activities that are actually counterproductive, because now you're letting this, what was now in your blind spot, now that you were paying attention to it, you're not paying attention to it correctly, and you're engaging what we call counterproductive dynamics. Your individual team-based training is off, and you're not able to effectively deal with the issue, even though you see it. So, that's, again, all the things that your hero counsel can come in and help you with, not just identifying the blind spot, but doing what's required, putting the strategies in place and executing those strategies flawlessly to help you mitigate the risk that you now have found in the blind spot. Now, what other ways can your advisory council help you develop more insight? Well, one of the other ways, besides identifying things that are in your blind spot, is they can provide objective advice. And this is what you need really in dealing with anything, whether it's a future opportunity or a situation that you're dealing with. You need objective advice. You need to be able to have people talk to you in a way that helps, again, reveal the truth of the situation and help you make decisions. I don't know about you, but I can promise you, when you think about it, you'll realize that most of the mistakes that you've made in your life come from you not having all the information, not having all the data, not interpreting the data correctly, not executing the strategy that you needed to execute in the time that you had in front of you to execute the strategy, not being proactive, not seeing downstream far enough and reacting soon enough to whatever was going on. And leaders are no different. They allow all kinds of trauma and problems to get in front of their decision making, and some of that stuff is simply not true. It's full of bias, it's full of misaligned expectations, it's full of information that you're taking as wisdom, as solid, but it doesn't ring true, right? And this is what your advisory council, your hero council, can help you get around this particular dynamic, because we all come with our fair share of judgment, our fair share of bias when it comes to decision making of all types in every situation. And the question you have to ask yourself is, do I have competent, talented people who are at the ready, who are open-minded, who represent a diverse perspectives on the thing that I'm doing, the mission that I have, the industry I belong to, the processes that I have embraced? Do I have objective, unbiased opinions and information to play with so that I can make decisions that are almost flawless? Now, I say almost flawless because none of us have the capacity to recruit and maintain and develop enough people that we can guarantee that in any given situation, in any given moment, that we have every objective advice. Because, first of all, people on our advisory councils, if we have them, they have lives. Their situations, they're going to make it to the quarterly meeting and they're going to review our plans. Maybe we can call them in an emergency, one or two of them, but getting the whole team together and being able to, run through scenarios in real time, very, very difficult to do, and still move forward on a long-term strategy. So, if you're not focused, by the way, if you don't help focus your advisory council on providing you objective advice that you need, like right now, right, you'll get caught up in the future thinking, and they can help you with the right now problems, right, that you're not really concerning yourself with and not really dealing with in a meaningful, powerful way. I'm going to read this to you, and this is from research that is done on Insight from the Harvard Business Review. And it basically says that humans have a tendency to judge ourselves by our intent and not by our impact. And we make occupants of influential roles blind to how others perceive their behaviors. Social scientists have long documented how such blind spots can thwart productive conversation. We're stuck in a box of self-deception and hardwired for defensive reasoning, as I shared with you earlier. Super important that we learn to mitigate and get around all the bias and all the information that is in front of us that's causing us to not see the truth for what the truth is. And that's, again, what our advisory council is for. So not only can your advisory council help you identify the blind spots, they can help provide objective advice to what you're dealing with right now. Now, a couple other things that advisory councils can do for you that a lot of people don't quite get and understand, comes along with number 3, is discovering emerging risks. When you are planning your strategy moving forward about what you're going to do with your team and how you're going to handle your team, invariably there will be some things that you'll bump into, some objections, some problems, some challenges that you will run into on the way toward accomplishing your goals, achieving the strategy that you're trying to achieve. And those things are called emerging risks. These are risks that in your planning you didn't see. But the minute you take off towards the goal, all of a sudden you're seeing them. In your advisory council, it has to be at the ready, and you need to be able to call certain people in your advisory council and be able to say in a heartbeat, in a whim's notice, listen, this is what's coming down the pike. I see this right now. This is not a part of our plan. We don't have a risk mitigation strategy for this thing. What do you think? And be assured that you're going to get some competent advice, right? This is how you make sure that you're choosing advisors who've been there, done that. Whatever it is you're trying to do, they understand how at least it was done in the past. So this is why your advisory council members make great mentors, they make great facilitators, and they make brilliant coaches for you and your executive team, right? So super important that you be able to have people on your team who can help you see the risks coming down the pike, especially if you're doing something new and innovative and creative, right? You want to be able to help them, you want to be able to see them and help you make the quick adjustments. The play-by-play adjustment has to be made, and that's what a good advisory council can do for you. So your advisory council can, 1, help you identify your blind spots, 2, help you provide objective advice, and 3, discover emerging risks, right? The last thing, and in my heart and hearts, I tell you, it's the most important thing that an advisory council can do for you is help you uncover opportunities. There are things that, again, you cannot plan for because you don't even know that they exist. There are achievements that you can have and you can make that are useful, could be meaningful to you and the members of your team that you're not even going for. It's different when, if your goal is to win the Super Bowl, right? There's a couple other achievements you have to hit along the way in order to even have the shot to play in the Super Bowl. You have to win your conference championship, right? You may have to win a certain amount of games in your conference championship, and you may have to beat a certain amount of teams in a certain way in your particular conference championship for you can get together with everyone else and then play in the big game, the Super Bowl or the conference championship or whatever that is, whatever you're calling it, whatever your coup de grace is in your industry. You need to be in a position to get there. And obviously there's opportunities that you might not even know about, but your advisory council and the members of your advisory council may be keenly aware that this is an opportunity that, if you were to take advantage of, would make the difference to your ability to move to the next level. There is a situation, I can think of many situations in the world where availing yourself of the opportunity to build key relationships with the right people in the right time in the right spaces make a big difference in your ability to capture a new opportunity, whether you're going to get an award for this or another, or you're going to sit on a council for this group or another, run for office, to do whatever, many other things. All of it requires you to be aware of the opportunities that are out there. These opportunities often you could not have discovered or even understood were it not for the benefit of key advisors and key people to say, okay, yeah, we're just offering a brand new executive scholarship for this program that we're doing at a university. I happen to be one of the members of the board of directors for the university. We'd like to help you have you pilot this program for us. We know that it's going to help accelerate, opportunities for people that are in the industry, and we'd like for you to pilot the program. You get to be a founder of a new process that will make key leaders behind you, more successful in what they do. And you get the benefit of dealing with the directors, the developers, the people who funded the process. You get the benefit of being one of the launching pad for that new program, whether that's an endowment or a scholarship or some way, some type of fellowship. You never know. But again, if you had the right relationships on your advisory council, if the right people in front of you on a regular, consistent basis, at least on a quarterly basis, you will uncover opportunities. They will help you uncover opportunities that you cannot uncover. So let's go through this again, and then let's talk about how you might be developing your advisory council, right? If you need your advisory council and you value outside perspectives, you're going to have them identify your blind spots. You're going to have them provide objective advice for you. You're going to have them discover emerging risk and help you figure out how to handle it. And you're going to help them uncover opportunities and help you figure out how to capture those opportunities. That's what you're going to do with your advisory council. Now, the problem most people have with even the thought of advisory council is they don't know how to put them together, and they don't know how to keep them together. And they don't know how to relay to that advisory council the benefits of even them being a part of your advisory council outside of helping you, right? Well, here are some of the key benefits that you'll be able to offer your advisory council if you do this right. One, you'll be able to help them find and do market research that they need to do to exploit opportunities for themselves and with and amongst themselves. So they in and of themselves become a little incubator for opportunity that maybe you don't want to take advantage of, but maybe some of them want to take advantage of. That's thing one. Thing two is they'll be able to offer, again, amongst themselves, competitive analysis that they could not have gotten had they not been a team, had they not been together with you. They could share information back and forth to each other, again, that they wouldn't naturally share. They may even be competitors under normal circumstance, but under the umbrella of your advisory council, now all of a sudden they're sharing inside information with each other. And that inside information is benefiting all of them or a few of them. But together, because they're working as a team, that helps all boats rise with the tide, right? Big key benefit of an advisory council is the networking and the connections that the advisory council is able to share and give and be amongst each other. I can't stress for you how important it is for like-minded individuals who care about the same things. When they come together, it's the most powerful thing that can happen in human existence. It's togetherness, it's unity, it's oneness. It's what happens when people are clicking, right? When they have those magic moments with each other, and they can be planned. They can be, you can set the scenario up for the magic to happen. You just can't make the magic happen. But you can set the scenario up where the magic is most likely to happen, right? The last thing that advisory council benefits of advisory council members to each other is education, advanced education, immediate education, real-time experience, where people can grow and begin to learn what they, again, can't learn. Can't read it in books, right? Can't take enough courses for it, because what active experience and professional opinions that people have, they built over time with an intense amount of strategy, execution, processing, programming. Now, why doesn't everybody do this? In my research, I found all kinds of excuses what people have about why they don't develop their own hero council, why they don't develop their own advisory council, why don't even embark upon the situation. And, it's just literally as you would think it was. Let me break this down for you. People don't develop their own advisory council because they believe that they have time and resource constraints. They believe they don't have bandwidth. They don't have enough energy. They don't have enough. They have too much on their plate right now. They're already overwhelmed. And, that same old excuse, that same old worn out, thing is really a lack of taking the time and using the time that you have effectively. And you can stop that. Anybody can stop that anytime they want to. You can just decide, okay, I'm going to spend an extra hour every day working on this thing, or not. And then develop the discipline and the strategy, methodology that you need to have in order to make it happen on a regular, consistent basis. That's just like picking up, working out, or picking up a diet, or picking up anything else. You're adding something that's going to enhance and grow you, instead of adding something that's just going to be drudgery and work and all that kind of stuff. But it's a matter of your perspective and a matter of how you hope to find and grow new opportunities for yourself, your business, your team, and so forth, right? And your community, right? The next thing people will say as an excuse, I think they say, it's too difficult to find members. It's too difficult to find people who will want to play with me. Well, it is surely difficult to find people who want to play with you if they don't know you want to play. I recall growing up thinking, I was all alone in a new area as a military brat. I moved around quite a bit. I remember thinking, oh my God, I don't have anybody to play with. But again, there is houses. I saw people come home from school and they walked into those houses and they were in my same grade or a year or two behind me or above me. And they probably want to play, but they don't know that I'm available to play, and I don't know that they're available to play. So how do we figure that out? You go knock on the door and you ask, can Jamie come out and play? Right? That willing to initiate the question and ask the question is something that, we teach people how to do all the time. How do you get people to do the thing you want them to do? Well, first you have to know what you want them to do. Second, you have to know what's the benefit to them to do what you want them to do. And you have to be willing to share that benefit with them. I have a basketball. It's a lot of fun. I like playing. Do you like playing? Great. Can we play together at some point in time? And guess what? A friendship is born. It is no different, guys. It's no different than where you were on the school, on the playground, on the dance floor, whatever it is that you're doing. You know, somebody else wants to do it. It's just a question of making the initial contact and being willing to ask, would they be willing to do it with you at some point in time? And so you can't be afraid of that. And then obviously there are smarter ways to ask that question than to not ask that question. And there's technique and gifting and talent that's involved in that. That's true, right? Personality makes a difference, right? But you cannot get what you do not ask for. If you do get, and there's a rule that I have, if you do find yourself achieving and getting things that you didn't ask for, you also have to ask the question, did you deserve it? Can you keep it? And how do you keep it if you don't even know how you got it? Right? So you got to think about all those types of things, right? The next thing that I find people have difficulty with when they're looking for advisory council members is really bad advice that they've gotten in the past. You know, this doesn't seem to be anybody out there who can give me good advice. And I will tell you, there's probably tons of people out there that can give you good advice. That's a myth, right? That's not true. That people are gonna give you bad advice on purpose. That is not true. Human beings want to be relevant. They want to be meaningful. They want to do things that matter. They don't want to steer you in the wrong direction. You're going to be able to get more good advice from perfect strangers than you will with people who know you. And so there are more perfect strangers out there than people actually know you. So you have to be willing to put it out there. This is what you need. You know, you have to be willing to meet new people with new perspectives on the thing, and you're going to get tons of advice. Your ability now to go into what we call perspective taking and take that advice and then use it, that's what's at bigger risk. The risk is not that you will get kind of bad advice. The risk is that you won't know what to do with all the advice that you get. And you can't necessarily do that. Again, back to your advisory council. When your advisory council is helping you sort through all the various different ideas and different ways that you can get through or get to what you're trying to get to, you can be assured that whatever you do, you're not doing it alone. And that makes a ton of difference in terms of what you're going to do. The other excuse that people have, and it's not really an excuse, it's just really a fact, they're not aware of what people could do for them. They've been lone wolves for so long, and they've not trusted people for so long, and they've not exercised this muscle that we call trust for so long. Now they don't know how to trust anybody except themselves. And that's just a lack of awareness. That's just a lack of awareness of the potential of other people. Now, to do this, you need some skills. Clearly, in order to mitigate the time and resource constraint, you got to be great at your own time management and your own processes. You have to understand how what you can cut out before you can add something new in. I get it, because if you're at capacity, you're going to have to cut something out in order to bring something new in. So you got to get rid of some things in order to do the new thing, right? That's a skill. Planning an organization is a skill. You have to be good at researching and identifying people who could help you in ways that are meaningful to you. Today we have the World Wide Web, and we have, all kinds of automated processes that will help you identify the people that you need to identify, and even finding out the things that they're already interested in. I love going on LinkedIn and finding posts that people that I am tracking as potential advisors for me in the future, finding out posts that they've made, that they're trying to celebrate and honor some activity or some idea, and I'm joining along with the party. They're gonna start hearing from me, and they start hearing me go, "Oh, that's a great idea. Thank you for doing this. What made you come up with this, or how did you endeavor upon this particular strategy or process that you've posted here on LinkedIn. Let's have a conversation about it. I'm going to start to engage in ways that show them that I'm interested, right? That's going to help me identify and find and get closer to people that I need to get closer to. Super, super important. This is a networking 101, right? This is that you got to be interested and engaged in order to get people to move in the direction that you want them to move. Now, don't worry about, by the way, I don't worry about bad advice. I'm going to normally get some. I'm going to get some, and I'm going to have to overpower that bad advice with good advice. So I'm going to get enough advice that I'm not paying attention, that the bad advice is not going to kill me, not going to destroy me. That's a strategy, right? And then, of course, I already know that people are powerful and people are the most magnificent, mammals that have ever been created. And inside of all of our brains and all of our hearts and minds are talents and gifts that have been given to each and every one of us. And if I can help exploit those gifts, bring those gifts out, move those gifts forward, put those gifts on my team, trust me, I'm going to put the right players on the field every time I get a chance to. And so it's important that you think about this. How is your advisory council helping you develop your insight? How is it helping you develop your wisdom? How is it helping you develop your business and your strategy as you move forward? When you work that out, you will have done a great thing for yourself, for your team, for the people that play with you, people that want to be around you. You will have done an amazing, amazing thing. Now, next week, guys, we're going to be talking about something that I think is super, super important. And that is when it comes to your advisory council, we're going to be talking about what it takes for you to truly use the benefit of performance discussion with your hero council. How do you talk about what you're doing and generate the feedback you need to generate in order to increase the intensity, the quality, and the timing of what you're doing so you can get the most out of this superhero council that you're developing for yourself. I hope you stay tuned. Hope you pay attention. Listen, if you have found us on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, go ahead and like us. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and avail yourself of the benefits of all the free tools and processes that I put in place every Friday. I'm going to take off for today, but I'm going to go and enjoy the festivities at the Howard Homecoming to the best of my abilities. Hope you guys have a great time. Have a great weekend. I know I've had a great time sharing with you, and we're going to close it out today. This is Coach Powell signing off. Good to see you guys. Hang in there until next week. Bye-bye.